What's up, everybody?
Yo, what's going on? How you doing?
Welcome.
Welcome back to the Kobe and Kuko podcast. It's been a whole week, and it's good to be back and to have you again.
Yes, sir. What did I say, yes, sir?
Say yes, sir. I've got a question for you.
Okay.
All right. What is it like, right, being married to me?
Jesus is Lord.
Oh, come on, please.
No. What is it like being married to you? As a person or as a pastor?
No, as a pastor.
What is it like being married to you?
Like me personally.
Don't take this negatively, but
Oh my gosh.
easy.
Oh, why would I take that negatively?
I don't know, because maybe some people feel like if you say easy, it's like you're just there.
Sometimes I hear, I hear that women like a bit of drama.
Which women are those? Excuse me, that's not godly.
No, because I think maybe when you're young, people like
unspiritual women like drama. Please, if you're spiritual, you want peace.
Because some women like a man that will keep them on their toes.
I think that's very worldly.
Or maybe a man likes a woman that's not like too boring. This is like, and that's why a lot of girls go for bad guys, and a lot of guys.
I think that is very, very worldly. That's the perspective that the world sells to you about marriage and relationships. Like they feel like it needs to be spicy and everything. Like
So
when you grow up, you want peace of mind.
I'm not spicy.
Come on, that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm trying to say is that perspective or that narrative that the world sells about marriage and relationships is so toxic. Because when you get to a certain point in your life, you just want to level up in all areas. I don't want any drama in my space because I know I know the role that my peace of mind plays in my progress.
Yeah.
And if I'm not in a good frame of mind, I can't make good decisions. I can't progress the way I want to. So I'm very intentional about my space and keeping it very holy. And when I say holy, not like the absence of sin, but keeping it very sacred so that I can create that kind of environment to thrive.
Yeah, I think. Do you know what my theory is? The people that like drama haven't got anything else to do.
I don't
because
know.
Honestly, if you have a job, if you're working,
that's true. You're idle. When you're very idle,
when you come into a relationship or being married or anything like that, you wouldn't want the drama. You wouldn't want someone to fight with and argue with. But for people who don't have anything else to do, this is like their main source of entertainment. Yeah, do you know what I mean? I can't take that. Yeah, Arsenal make my heart beat enough. I don't want any more drama. I don't want any more.
I think it's very worldly, very secular, and very immature. Young people, of course, I'm not saying all young people, but a lot of young people don't have much responsibility. And so their relationships are like priority. Yeah. It's what occupies them. So when their relationship is not going, it's not giving them that kind of thrill, they feel like they need to spice things up. Yeah. And that's why you find, let me not bash it because I know some people watch it, but there's certain even shows on TV, right, that don't promote godly marriages or a healthy environment for good relationships. Because you're watching couples or wives on TV
who
being
fighting,
very toxic,
very, very bad, very argumentative.
And subconsciously, it feeds into your mind.
And then you go back and then they make up and then they're okay. And then you're like...
And you feel like that's the way marriage is supposed to be.
Freaking thing, they're still together. It's like, no. They're killing each other slowly. Like,
they are.
Slowly, they're killing each other and they're killing each other. Emotions, and there's things that they will say to each other that's going to be a problem.
No, when you grow up, when you're maturing, you're very intentional about your emotional and mental well-being, and I don't think drama has any good role to play in that. So being married to you, back to your question, I would say easy, not because it's been without challenges, but because I don't even want to say just your nature, but I think your level of maturity, which is really grounded in your Christianity. Mm-hmm. Why you just do?
Because I'm thinking about no, don't worry, my head.
Your level of maturity allows you to love me the way God loves me. I always feel like you're an extension of God's love for me. because you're very graceful with me, you're very patient with me, and not just all those good things, but you also rebuke me and correct me where I need to be corrected, because that's also the nature of God and how he relates to us out of love. So you make it very easy to stay married to you because you're very open with your journey with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Oh.
Actually, let me ask you, how is it like being married to
And
me?
this is what I didn't. This is why I was smiling earlier.
What, were you hoping that I'll ask you?
Next question. Next question. No, it's been uncomfortable at first.
Okay.
Mainly because I've had to grow and I've had to change a lot. And I always say this: if I had married someone like me, it would have been like a bit too smooth,
Too laid back. Yeah.
I don't know if we'd been able to do certain things that I'd want to do, or we've ended up doing, or if we'd been able to do things like traveling. Sometimes traveling for me doesn't bother me. Like I don't. I'm not the kind of person that's like, oh, we have to go out. Like we
have to travel.
Yeah, for me, it will just happen, and if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. And so if I had someone like me, it would be like, yeah, let's just
be met together.
Yeah, let's just stay at home, watch TV.
Very chilled and relaxed. Yeah.
Except for that, there's obviously other things as well where financially, I've had to learn a lot.
Yeah.
Emotionally, I've had to learn I wasn't as
emotional
patient
balance.
I wasn't as patient as I thought I was. I had to learn that, okay, cool. Like, even though you are patient, you're patient when you're alone. You're patient when you're calm. But not calm, but when you've had a moment of peace and you've been by yourself and you finished playing Xbox and you watch the football you want to watch and you watch the series you want to watch, of course you're going to be patient. But when things have been tough, things have been, you've gone to work and it's rough at work and the kids are on your case, and then it starts bubbling inside of you. So you've been someone that's really pushed me and challenged me and not let me be comfortable. And that was one of the questions. I remember a while ago you asked me that question.
What
you
question?
asked me, do I feel like I can be myself around you? And I said,
oh, right.
And I said no.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit, you were like, huh?
I was a bit uncomfortable with that answer,
I was like, nah, I definitely can't be myself around you. Not like I can't be who I am, but there's certain traits of mine, and I was explaining that to you, that there's certain traits of mine that are just not good for me.
Yeah.
And
not good for marriage.
Exactly. And you being around
has made you step out of that.
Exactly. If you're not in a house for a week, okay, no, the house will be clean. What would I do? I think I would spend a lot more time.
I think just being, you just like being by yourself, and it's not healthy for marriage because you have to be in each other's space,
on my toes, like all of those things. So, being married to you hasn't been the smoothest, but has been good for me. And put it that way. So,
I'm your good thing.
And also, and this goes to the topic of what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
I've had to learn how to compromise. The art of compromising. Is one of the things that it's the thing people don't want to do. Yeah, I think it breaks
in marriage. Yeah,
about 50% of marriages is because
maybe more than that.
Yeah, but I'm thinking about marriage. I'm thinking about marriage. I'm thinking about marriage. I mean, money.
Yeah,
money is one of them. I guess compromising kind of goes into it. Sex.
Yeah, compromise. I think it's a big factor.
Everyone is just themselves. Everyone just wants to, and this is it annoys me when people want to get into marriage and do what they do when they're single. It doesn't work like that.
You're married to a single man, you're married to a single woman.
You have to be able to compromise and find a common ground in everything you do. Everything, even if it's letting you allowing them to go all the way and do what you want to do, like for example, when I'm watching football, that's something that I like doing. So it's something like, okay, cool, like let him do his thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Even that alone is a compromise for you. It's not like it's not like a mindset that I got my own way.
Yeah, because I'm not a fan of football. But
yeah, you should be though.
Yeah, we'll see. I try. I've got a few Arsenal tops.
That I bought you.
And I wear them. So give me my 2 cents for that.
Cool.
And also, like, I do... I think you put your notifications on my phone so that I know when you're... It's still on.
Okay, cool.
It's still on, so I know when your team is playing and stuff like that. Every now and then I would come around, try watch with you, even though like I'm not fully engaged. So I've had to love... I think what I'm trying to say is that I've had to love certain things that you love, even though I don't love them, because it makes you happy.
Okay.
So that's been the area of compromise for me. There are actually certain things that I just don't love, or I don't like, or I don't enjoy. But I've had to learn to like those things because of you, because I know it makes you happy.
What would you say was the most difficult thing to learn to like?
This is a hard one. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but it's like even the conversations that we had.
What do you mean?
So we were talking the other day, and I think it had been like a month, like months and months and months and months and months. And then I think we were just like so passionate. And I was like, babe, we talk about church a lot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you were like, yeah, because that's what you're interested in. That's what you're passionate about. And you said to me, sometimes you just want to talk about like casual stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, Kukwa, maybe sometimes you're too serious. Like, not everything is serious. Not everything is serious in life. Like, sometimes just be chilled, just be relaxed. Not every topic has to be a serious topic. Like, even like planning the podcast. Like,
can I say something? Yeah, you did this the other day. Yeah.
What?
And it irritated me.
What?
But I didn't say anything because I'm a patient man. I was literally trying to do exactly what it is, and just like talk to you about something that I enjoy doing, like something that I like talking about. And I was just like, talking about something, and I was laughing about it, and I was trying to engage you. And then you started talking about something else, like something else serious. And I was just like, you didn't get the hint. And it just kind of threw me off. I was like, I don't want to talk about this.
That's really been an area of compromise for me, in the sense that I realized that sometimes you want to spend time with your wife and not your quote unquote business partner.
Yeah.
And I think you said this the other day when you said to me that sometimes it feels like I'm your business partner. Yeah. Because everything is too serious.
It's all about work. It's all about
It's always about work. It's always about planning. It's always about... And I realized that it wasn't feeding into the joy and the excitement in our marriage, because everything was being too serious.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I had to learn the balance of letting my guards down.
Okay.
And I know a lot of that has had to do with my upbringing. And it's like, I feel like there's so many things that I've had to fix. And when I say fix, not because they've been negative, but because I feel like I have to do better and I can be better and I've got all these goals and things to achieve. So it's like I've been so driven that I've forgotten to enjoy the simple moments in life. Yeah. And you've been calling my attention to that for so long. And I think I'm actually doing better at it now. Because
you think so? No, I'm not saying no. I'm just saying, like, do you actually think so? Like,
yeah.
Why did you just?
No, because I thought you were calling me out. Like, no, you haven't done better.
No. I was like, oh, do you think you've actually done better?
I really think I have, because now I'm getting excited about, like, I'm driving and pushing things like going on a vacation.
Okay.
At first, I wouldn't care for those things, but now I'm like, babe, let's go on a vacation, or let's do something fun. Like, there even been moments in the house where I'm like, what fun thing can I do at home? Do
you realize that even when we were in Greece?
Yeah.
We spoke about church a lot.
No, not as much as we did.
Not as much, but we still spoke about church
a bit, but not as much. So I think it's an improvement. Thank you very much. Yeah. But I guess like in the area of compromise, I've just learned to be a little less serious.
Yeah.
And I intentionally did that because I knew you wanted to enjoy the girl in me. You wanted to enjoy the wife in me. You wanted to just sit down with me and cuddle with me and just watch movies.
When we like,
because your world is so busy. I can only imagine the role or the responsibility or even the pressure that comes with being the man.
Yeah.
And I started to see that you didn't want to feel like you had all this responsibility as a man and not have an outlet of just relaxing with me.
I'm working when I'm out and I'm working when I'm home.
Yeah.
And that's the frustrating thing. But yeah, I mean the compromise is basically, and I had to compromise as well because I knew that it was your passion. I know that you don't. It's not that you just love working, but if it's your passion, you just talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, you talk about it with a lot of passion. You talk about it with a lot of love. So I've had to learn also how to be like, yo, like chill out. Like, I know that sometimes it feels like you're working again, but at the same time, it's something that she likes doing.
Yeah.
You know, it's something that she likes sorting out. A problem that it's on her mind. So how can we figure this thing out? And you just want to talk so that we can sort it out and sort out an issue or progress in something. So don't always be like, oh, here we go again. But like, so it was something that we kind of have found like a good middle ground on. Where we can just talk about stuff and progress and move forward as well and talk about things like
I think generally people actually struggle to compromise because it's just in the nature of man to be selfish.
Yeah.
I think our sin nature is very selfish. We're very self-consumed. We're very inward looking.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of responsibility to break that, especially in a union as sacred as marriage.
Yeah.
So people, or let me not even say just people, but I had to be intentional about breaking out of that selfishness, that selfish mindset where it's like, it's, how can I better myself and what can I, and sometimes selfishness is even disguised in how can it be for both of us, but really it's what drives me as an individual. So when I'm trying to fix something or I'm trying to plan something, really and truly it's what satisfies me.
Yeah.
But I disguise it under the marriage and I say, okay, no, this is going to be best for the marriage. But maybe it's not even something that you're interested in.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? So I've had to really, really looked inwardly and asked myself, what are the things that I'm so passionate about that you don't, I would even say you don't care for, but the things that you are not so driven by.
Yeah.
And where can we find the common ground so that we can be in a place where we're both comfortable and both happy? And it's been a heck of a price to pay.
I've got a scripture here. It says Ephesians chapter 4 verse 2. It says, be completely humble and gentle, be patient, bearing with one another in love, and make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. So I think that's one of the things that you should have in your life. Compromise brings peace. It's a art of sacrificing and letting things go rather than holding on and wanting what you want, because having that balance, and says that be patient, bearing one another in love, and making every effort. It's like
the effort.
It's like the effort to keep peace. In order to keep peace, you sometimes say, let me not talk about this. And sometimes in order to keep peace, I don't want to do this, but she wants to do it, so let me do it. Sacrifice something for the sake of peace. Sacrifice something. Like some people, it's like, I don't want peace. I want to
fight. I don't like peace. But I think with women, sometimes some women have found themselves struggling, and this is out of like conversations that I've had with some ladies. They've found it very difficult to sacrifice and compromise because they feel as though when they let everything go, things are gonna fall apart. But when I look at it and I think about it down to its root and at its core, I think it's actually a lack of trust. When you don't trust someone, you cannot compromise.
Yeah.
Because you feel like you have to figure it out. Because if you leave it in their hands, it's sort of like shared responsibility. Who you don't trust, you can't give a serious responsibility to. And if you've noticed, if anyone has noticed in their marriage where it feels like they can't compromise, maybe you should check and ask yourself, how much do you trust your partner? Because if you trust them, you will let certain things go. And we learned this in marriage counseling, where it's like, you know, I have an idea and I think this is the way we should go. You have an idea and think that's the way you should go. And in my mind's eye, I think this is the right way to go. But because I trust you as our leader, because I trust you as the one that God has placed, not the one that I chose.
Yeah.
But because I trust that you are the one that God has placed at the head of this union.
Yeah.
I rest in that in such a way that even if I think I'm absolutely right, I release that kind of control.
Yeah. I mean, and there's also, well, the example of even like decorating the house when we moved in.
Yeah.
It got to a stage where I was just like my wife was taking over everything and doing everything. And it was just like, no, I want it this way. And then she'll say, no, we want it this way. And then we'll go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. After a while, I was just like, you know what? Every time she says something, it probably bangs. Most of the time it bangs.
Yeah.
So just leave it. So most of the time when she's like, which one do you think is better? This one or this one? I was like, you know what, just make a choice, because either one, I know that it will probably be nice.
Yeah.
Because I have trusted you with that.
Yeah.
And you have given me the receipts and the proof in knowing that, okay, cool. So when it comes to decorating the house, guys, I don't touch anything.
Yeah.
I don't even like. Okay, no, I have my say.
Yeah, of course, when it comes to the technology side, like, and I'm not even going to like argue with that, because
the
I
tech
know
side,
that, I know that I'm not the best at it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's that kind of level of compromise. And I think which feeds into the next thing that I was going to talk about is like understanding your strengths and your weaknesses.
Yeah.
When you know your partner's strengths, you're able to capitalize on that, because the main thing is, you know that you're both one. So it's like, how can I leverage your strength for the sake of the union? And it's also a self-check when you can look in yourself and say, you know what, I'm not good at this. And if you're not good at it, it's not for you to fight and say, oh, I have to, you know, I have to get it together, I have to do it. You know, there's a scripture that talks about strength being for service.
Yeah.
And for both of us, I think the beauty of our marriage is we've gotten to a point where we realize that where I'm strong is where I serve you best.
Yeah.
And you know, where you're strong is where you serve me best. And so it's identifying, what am I good at? What are my strengths? And where am I also weak? And accepting that I'm not so good at this. And for this reason, God has placed someone in my life who can complement me in that area to make us better.
Yeah.
So if you're able to identify that, I think compromise becomes a big, big factor. Even things like, when it's come to which we spoke about in our last podcast, but when it comes to like the area of our finances and stuff, like when we're planning and budgeting and all of that, like you have your areas of strengths when it comes to money, and I have my areas of strength when it comes to like planning and budgeting and stuff like that, and you allow me to do these things because you know that she's good at it, and
there's no point fighting about it.
There's no point fighting about it.
Of peace.
Like it. Do you know what I mean? But sometimes people want and which goes back to like social media. I think there's been like so much of a stereotype or like a narrative that's been told to people, and people are made to believe it so much that they feel that it has to be a certain way.
Yeah.
The beauty of our marriage is that it's unique to us.
Yeah.
We make it, there are things that we do that works for us.
Yeah.
That won't work for certain people.
Yeah. And
it's for everyone in their relationship and in their union to sort of like figure that out, what works for you.
Yeah.
If we know a couple where the man he does all the cooking at home.
Yeah.
Why does he do all the cooking at home? Because he's a chef.
Yeah. Okay, I was thinking about who you talking about.
You're thinking about who? Yeah, but he's a chef, and his wife is not like, she's not really the best at cooking. Now he's not going to force his wife, hey, you have to do all the cooking because da, 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 da. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's not going to like force her because of like the narrative that's been told in a traditional household. He loves to cook. And so he does
And
it.
he's good at it too. It's been
And
a while.
he's so good at it.
Yo,
like
I
I even eat his meals and I'm licking my fingers like, this is so good. He's a very good cook. You know what I mean? And sometimes because of like the stereotypes that have been placed in society, you feel like you have to fight that even if it doesn't work for you. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's just really breaking the narrative of what society has placed on us, on, you know, whose responsibility it is to do X, Y, Z, and just go with what works for you. And really, which goes back to like our upbringing. We've had, so you initially spoke about where, you know, in your household, you know, you were raised with your dad, you know, doing everything, and and I remember there was this day, I'm so blessed to be very close to your mom, and there was this day you told me that like she was you know, like just commending you as a husband, and she was like, and as a father, and she was like, Kobe, you're actually doing very well. You're doing very well because you're actively involved in the life of your kids, and you help out at home, and you take care of the kids as well, and you know, stuff like that. And she didn't always get that because your dad was always out, and he was always active in ministry. He was always on the go. Right now, imagine in our narrative with marriage, if we insisted, okay, this is what we've seen, and so that's what we're gonna do. It would have been so frustrating for us because we've realized that the compromise that we've had to have, even in parenting our kids, right, has allowed us to confidently walk in our purposes together. Because you've seen areas where you know that this is her call, this is what she's been called to do, and you support me in whichever way you can. Do you know what I mean?
Remember that question I asked you when we were on holiday?
What?
Who would be better staying at home?
That's not. No, but you know, and I think it's the beauty on that, because we've not placed false labels on ourselves. We haven't placed these kind of.
And I think that's where compromise is really, really important. You compromise based on yourselves and who you are and how you are and what you do and how you do it. You don't force each other to do something because someone else said that it should be done. And I think it's a beautiful thing to have different people get married together, and then you find out how their dynamic works and how they've compromised. And you know, the same couple that we were talking about before, the guy is very extroverted, like he's really loud, he's really out there. And when I say extrovert, it's like extremely extroverted,
the extreme end of extrovert.
And the girl, the lady is very, very introverted, very extreme end of an introvert. Do you know what I mean? So seeing them together was like really, really weird, and I was thinking, how is that going to work?
How did they do it?
But them coming together and seeing how it works, I'm seeing the girl come out a little bit more, you know, and it's a beautiful thing, and I'm just like, wow, so this was in you all that time. So having that, you know, two different point of views and two different mindsets and two different upbringings come together to create this whole new world, and just like, wow, like that's really, really good.
As long as it doesn't compromise scripture, it doesn't compromise the word of God, where you're not breaking the order that God has put in
the main thing
home
is
and
peace
marriage.
in the home. If you have peace in the home according to the word of God.
I actually wanted to ask you a question. What, because I know generally a lot of men struggle with this, right? But what allows you to be the kind of man and the kind of husband that you are in our home, where it's like you allow me and to do certain things and support me in the most untraditional way?
I think it's the mindset of knowing that if you succeed, I succeed. I don't see it as
it's good.
I don't see it as you doing well.
There's no competition.
It's like if you're doing well, then we're both doing well.
Right.
You know, if someone brings in the bread, we both eat.
we're eating.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If someone brings in the bread, we all eat. We all enjoy. If someone buys a new car, we're sitting in it.
We're driving.
We're driving together.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a case of, I want to see you prosper. I want to see you do well. I want to see you happy. I want to see you satisfied in your life, because it all brings me joy.
Right.
It all brings me happiness.
Right.
And that's one of the things that I always say, that the compromising is very happy. The compromising is very good and very important.
Yeah.
Because I'm someone that, even if I'm getting my own way, if I see you're unhappy, I'm not satisfied with it. You know, so I'm like, okay, cool, sacrifice something, because my joy and my priority is that my wife is also satisfied with what's happening. So I'm happy with you to, like, okay, girl, let me take a back seat for a while, let her go do her thing. Okay, cool. If we're both busy and we're both working, and then you say, look, my work is really important, I'm like, yeah, okay, cool, like, I'll drop what I need to do in order to make sure that what you want and what you need, because at the end of the day, we both win. I'm happy when you're happy.
And I think we've had the beautiful seasons where I think we're so graced and blessed, where we're both at a point in time in our lives where we both have to be driving and pushing things. And God has always supplied or given us the kind of resource, external resource, to help us fulfill that kind of call and purpose on our lives. So maybe for any couple that's like struggling and you feel like maybe your husband is not helping or your wife is not helping, you need to like have that kind of like self-assessment to ask yourselves, is this important to both of you at the same time? And if it's like nothing can give, then maybe it's the time for you to seek external help. Because when it comes to like things like ministry, where we're both actively, you know, supporting and building God's kingdom, we've been so blessed to have external help that allows us to do what we do for God, even in terms of our career as well. So just to like encourage someone is also like not to fear seeking external help. Do you know what I mean? Because sometimes I think we place so much pressure on each other, on your partner, or on your, you know, and trying to like find the help inwardly. But what makes you also resourcell is to see where you can leverage help other from people, the outside.
That's very important. Anyway, thank you again for listening to us. I enjoy doing these podcasts. And sometimes time flies and I'm just like, okay, well, we're going a bit over the thing. But thank you so much for listening to us. Thank you for spending time with us. We enjoy spending time with you. Again, write everything in your comments, in the comments that you want to say. If you have opinions, if you agree with something, if you disagree with something,
would like to hear feedback.
It'd be very nice to hear from you guys. Enjoy your evening, your day, your morning, whatever time you're listening to. Have a good day. I'll see you next
God
week.
bless you. Have a great week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.